Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Overwatch Weekly. I'm your host, NTC, and I want to jump right into this one because we have 7 stories to talk about today. A lot of them have to do with the Overwatch League, so we will get to those at the end. But first, let's talk about the main story, the big story. It's a pretty short story, but Wrecking Ball, as well as the new Sombra, the Storm Arrows, nerfs, and all the other things that are on the PTR at the moment will be going live next Tuesday, July 24th at around 2 p.m. Eastern Time. That's usually when they patch things in, so be on the lookout around that time. Follow me on Twitter. As long as I'm around when it happens, I'll keep you guys updated. I might not be around when it happens, but just keep your eye on the game and on social media, and you'll see all the things that get added. Also, of course, Wrecking Ball's cosmetics are on the PTR now to check out, and they'll be, of course, on the live servers when that launches next Tuesday. So if you want to see the cosmetics before then, I will have a link in the description as well as in the cards to a video that I made last week showcasing those. But if you just want to wait until the live servers, you can do that as well. So those are the first two things I want to talk about. They're out of the way. Now let's move on to a more meaty story, and it is from Jeff Kaplan from the Overwatch forums, and it has to do with the looking for group system as well as endorsements. So this is a post called Our Progress So Far, and in it Jeff Kaplan is saying that they've been doing some research and looking into what's happening with the two looking for group and endorsements things, the social things they added in, and seeing how it has an effect. So they have found in the Americas that the percentage of competitive matches that contain abusive chat is down 26.4%. Now, that doesn't mean that it is at 26.4%. It just means that if it was at 100% before, it's now at around, 73%. So that's what that means. Is that it's down to it's 26% lower than it was before, and in Korea it's down 16.4%, while the percentage of daily players being abusive is down 28.8% in the Americas and 21.6% in Korea. So the bigger change is, of course, in the percent of daily players being abusive, which is great. That's a nice stat we have here. Jeff Kaplan has some other things that he's commented on, such as the EU not being reported on there. They just don't have those stats available at the time of this post. So I'm interested in seeing where the EU lies on this spectrum, if it's closer to the Americas number, if it's closer to the Korea number, if it's higher than the US or the Americas numbers, if it's lower than the Korea numbers, whatever, if it's in the middle, whatever. I'm interested in seeing where that lies. But that is everything to do with just the normal game in this week's news. Now we're jumping full in to the Overwatch League stuff. So I want to start off with something that kind of blends that line, and that has to do with a new Lucio legendary emote. Now this legendary emote should be playing on screen right now, but it is available to all people that have the All Access Pass on Twitch. It is $30. Right now, when I'm recording this, at least when I checked, it is $15 for Amazon Prime members because of Amazon Prime Day, but it is a legendary emote, and I'm drawing a blank here, is what I'm trying to say. The All Access Pass includes more than just this, and a lot of people are saying, like, why are we paying $30 for just an emote? You get a lot more, but really only if you're in Overwatch League. If you're a fan of the Overwatch League, you get some away skins that you can't get normally. There's one for each of the 12 teams, but that doesn't mean there's one for each of the heroes. There are Twitch emotes that you can use. There's some just Overwatch League skins based on the Overwatch League itself, so it's like a gray-orange color scheme. There's a spray and player icon for it. So there's some things you get if you get the All Access Pass, and this Lucio emote is just an additional thing that they added in. You get some benefits. There's special chat rooms in the live streams. There's certain things that you have access to that people who don't have the All Access Pass don't have the access to. I don't actually have it. I do really, really, really like the Overwatch League. I don't have an interest in buying the All Access Pass. There's not enough there for me to want to go, okay, I want to buy this. Which is funny that I'm more willing to buy the Pink Mercy skin, where all of it goes towards charity, than to buy this. Which, you get more for $15 here, but Pink Mercy goes towards charity, so I felt a little bit more inclined to buy that. But that is what you can get from the All Access Pass. There's multiple things. It's linked in the description if you want to see everything else that there is to offer. Because there is quite a few things there, if you're interested. So yeah, that's about all there is for that story. So let's move on to the next story, which is a really big story. And this story to me is crazy. I did not expect to see this happen. So this story comes from ESPN, of all places. And the headline is that Overwatch League comes to ESPN, Disney, and ABC. So this comes from last Wednesday, so a week ago, where I'll just read you the opening sentence. Overwatch League is coming to the ESPN, Disney, and ABC family of networks. ESPN, Disney, and Blizzard Entertainment announced on Wednesday. So this is last week. The second paragraph reads, the multi-year broadcast deal includes the Overwatch League playoffs, which begin Wednesday night, being last week, the Season 1 Grand Finals from the Barclays Center in New York this month, and Overwatch League Season 2 next year. And all professional Overwatch will be broadcast in some fashion on the flagship ESPN network, ESPN2, Disney XD, ABC, and streaming services for the term of the agreement. Now, there is, I believe, stuff in here about the Overwatch World Cup. I don't remember exactly where. I've read somewhere that they're going to be having the World Cup. I don't know where that is, because I haven't seen it anywhere. But I've heard people say that they're going to have the World Cup. I don't know if that's true or not, but if it is, that's big. I think the Overwatch League is the main thing they're going to have, but there's obviously going to be some other things there. So if you want to watch it on Disney XD or ESPN instead of watching it on your TV, or instead of watching it on Twitch, feel free to do so. You'll probably have less lag. I know it's delayed. I checked it out the first night just to see what it was like. It's the same thing as a Twitch broadcast. It's just slightly delayed. So if you are interested in that instead, feel free. There's probably some bad commercials. I didn't watch it a lot. I just kind of looked and saw what was there. But it's a pretty big deal, actually, because ESPN, it's funny to me, because ESPN, I want to say like 5 years ago, I don't even remember how long ago it was, but I remember there was a time when a guy at the head of ESPN was basically just saying, we will literally never have esports on ESPN. They aren't real sports. And look at them now. They're going to be broadcasting them because they understand where the money is now, and esports is such a big business now. There's a lot of money to be had in there, so I think it's funny. I think ESPN needs to dabble more in terms of online ways to do it, because yeah, I can watch Overwatch League on ESPN or Disney or ABC, or I can just pull it up on Twitch, which is completely free. I don't have to pay for cable. I mean, yeah, someone's going to say, well, you have to pay for internet. Okay, but internet is far more important than cable is. Cable's purely for entertainment. Internet, you need to kind of work and do jobs and be able to do a lot of things that you can't do without it. So that's why I say it's, if they really want to dabble in esports stuff, they need to do more. They need to get, streaming online. They need to start doing things more than just having a website and a Twitter account. But that's just me. We're going to move on to the next thing, once again, Overwatch League related, which is that on Wednesday last week, we got the reveal of who the Season 1 MVP is for the Overwatch League, and I think unsurprisingly to everybody. It went to Jay Jonak of the New York Excelsior, a Zenyatta player. Absolutely fantastic player. If you've never seen him play, there is a video in the description, which is, the whole kind of reveal of it, but it has a little bit of a highlight reel. There's other highlights out there, of course. There's tons of them. You can just search up Jay Jonak and you'll see a bunch of them. He's fantastic. It's awesome that support won it because I'm a support player. I think it's great. I'm an NYXL fan, so I got a player from my team who won it, and he's a support player. It's great. It's awesome. Congrats to Jay Jonak. That's the end of that story. And we'll move on to the final story, which is the Overwatch League playoffs. Of course, I mentioned that I'm going to be talking about this every week from now until it ends, which is actually next week, is when the final week is. That's when the grand finals take place. So I guess 2 more weeks of talking about it. But do a quick little recap of last week's action. In the first series, it was the Philadelphia Fusion against the Boston Uprising. Philadelphia Fusion came out on top 2-1. It was a very good series. It was completely amazing. It was a really great series, very competitive. It was a 3-1 for Philly, then it was a 3-1 for Boston, then it was a 3-1 for Philly. It was back and forth. It was a great series. The other series between the London Spitfire and the Los Angeles Gladiators was very one-sided for both sides. On Wednesday, the first day, the LA Gladiators came out 3-0 to the London Spitfire. London looked like a team that didn't even deserve to make the playoffs. Saturday comes around, London wins 6 straight maps, series over, and moves on to the second round. So, what that sets up for the second round is the following. So tonight, we have 2 games, of course, as we did last week as well. We have the Philadelphia Fusion, the number 6 seed, taking on the New York Excelsior, the number 1 overall seed. That is the first game of that series. That will take place tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I just want to double check to make sure that time is correct because I messed up last week with the times. But that is correct. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight, we will be getting the matchup between the Philadelphia Fusion and the New York Excelsior. Then, at 10 o'clock tonight, we have the matchup between the number 5 overall London Spitfire and the number 2 overall Los Angeles Valiant. So both series will have their first game played tonight. Then on Friday, July 20th, at 7 p.m., will be Game 2 of London versus the LA Valiant. And if a Game 3 is necessary, that will be at 9. I definitely said 9 for the first game. It's 7 and 9. So 7 for London and LA Valiant Game 2, and if necessary, 9 o'clock for London and LA Valiant Game 3. And then on Saturday, we have the conclusion of the Philadelphia Fusion New York Excelsior series, the same times as the Friday series, 7 and 9 if necessary. So that is where we stand with the Overwatch League playoffs, and that is where we stand for Overwatch-related stuff of this past week. And therefore, we are done with Overwatch Weekly for the week. It was a lot of stuff to cover this week, but I got it down. I got it. We're good. So if you guys enjoyed, consider liking and subscribing. Leave a comment down below how you think the playoffs are going to go. I think next week I'll try to do a poll on the 2 grand finals teams, see what everyone's thinking, see who people have winning the whole thing. But we'll see. I'm hoping that next week we can talk about a little bit less Overwatch League, even though I love the Overwatch League. I want to talk about some more game-related news. And there's going to be some stuff, of course, with Wrecking Ball being added in and some new things, of course, that I think will be talked about around then. We might get the reveal soon for the Summer Games event. That could be at the Grand Finals. And maybe we'll talk about it in 2 weeks. Who knows? We'll see what happens, but I'm going to sign off now. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Hope you all enjoy the semifinals for the Overwatch League playoffs. I know I will, and I'll enjoy them even more if New York wins, but we will see what happens. But until next time, I will see you all later, and have yourselves a wonderful day.